Erica. Welcome back to Maniacal Reader. Today I'm doing my Christmas book haul. The first book I want to show you is Did I Mention I Love You by Estelle Mascami. This is a YA romance book. This book follows a girl named Eden Monroe who came to California looking for a summer of sun, sand, and celebrities in order to escape the drama back home. That is until she moves in with her new family of strangers. A dad that she hasn't seen in 3 years, a stepmom, and 3 stepbrothers. She moves into her dad's new house in Santa Monica, in a room right next door to her new stepbrother Tyler Bruce. He has angry green eyes and a very big ego. She really dislikes him in the beginning, but the thing is they're constantly thrown together in a world of rule-breaking and partying. Just when she thinks she can't understand her stepbrother, she finds herself falling for him. The next book I have here is 16th Summer by Michelle Dalton. This is another YA contemporary book. It follows this girl named Anna who's just looking forward to a summer of spending time at the beach with friends and ice cream. But that all changes when she meets a guy named Will, who's visiting from New York. It sounds like her and Will have a summer fling, but I've heard that this book has a sad note to it, so maybe this book is cutesy, but it might have some depth to it as well. Next up, I have Scoring Wilder by R.S. Gray. This is a new adult romance book. I've heard a lot about R.S. Gray from a booktuber I watch. Not only does she write good new adult romance, but her writing has sort of a humorous romantic comedy feel to it. And that's something that I'd never read in new adult before, so I'm looking forward to getting to this book. This book follows a girl named Kinsley Bryant who has Olympic tryouts on the horizon for soccer. Kinsley has a lot on her plate, and the last thing she needs is Liam Wilder. Liam Wilder is a professional soccer player, and he just so happens to be her new soccer coach. Liam Wilder is a hot soccer coach, but if you're seen scoring with the coach, it is rumored that you'll be kicked off the team for sure. Kinsley has tried her best to avoid Liam Wilder. Liam wants to teach her new things about team bonding. This definitely sounds like an interesting book that I'll like. The next book I have here is Saltless by S.C. Stevens. This is another new adult romance book, and it's the first book in a trilogy. It follows this girl named Kira and her boyfriend Denny. Kira and Denny have set off to a new city to start their life together. Denny has his dream job, and Kira is starting life at a top-notch university, but unforeseen consequences force them apart. Now Kira is lonely and seeking comfort. This all changes when she meets local rock star Kyle Killen. Their relationship starts off as friendship, but as Kira's loneliness grows, so does their relationship. I've heard that this book is serious and emotional, and that's the type of new adult books that I like to read most of the time, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. Next up, I have Nowhere But Here by Katie McGarry. This is a young adult romance book. This book is about a girl named Emily who's 17. She has good parents and good friends, but she's become curious about her biological father. Her biological father is the head of a motorcycle gang, so she extends her summer vacation in order to spend time with him. Also, this guy named Oz happens to be interested in Emily, and he wants to protect her from the rival gang. I've read Katie McGarry's Pushing the Limits series, and I loved it. Katie McGarry definitely has a knack of writing great YA romance that definitely has some depth to it. The third book in this trilogy was released recently at the end of January, so I'll definitely get to this book sometime in the future. I love Katie McGarry. Next up I have Crash by Nicole Williams. This is the first book in another YA romance trilogy. It follows this girl named Lucy who's the new kid on the first day of her senior year. She clashes with a guy named Jude Ryder, who definitely has a rap sheet for being in a relationship with a lot of girls and has a reputation for breaking their hearts. It looks like Lucy and Jude definitely get off on the wrong foot on her first day of high school because he labels her a slut. It looks like this book has that love-to-hate sort of relationship going on, and I like tension between characters, so I'm looking forward to this book exploring that kind of relationship. The next book I have here is Rules of Attraction by Simone Alcaraz. This is the second book in her Perfect Chemistry trilogy. The first book followed Alex Fuentes and his relationship with a girl named Brittany. Carlos has recently moved from Mexico to Colorado to live with his brother Alex since he's been getting into trouble. And on his first day, Carlos meets Kira. Kira is a student who happens to be his peer guide, who's supposed to show him around classes since he's just arrived at a new school. But something happens at Carlos's new school, and he's forced to live with one of Alex's former professors. Next up, I have Chain Reaction. This is the third book in the Perfect Chemistry trilogy, and it follows Alex's younger brother Louis and his romance with a girl named Nikki Cruz. It sounds like this book will be good too. I liked the first book in the Perfect Chemistry trilogy, so I'm sure I'll definitely like this one as well. The next book I have here is The Boy Most Likely To by Huntley Fitzpatrick. This book is the sequel to My Life Next Door. It follows this guy named Tim, who's not really known for making the right choice, and a girl named Alice, who is always wondering if the smart choice is always right. Tim has a past that's come back to haunt him, and Alice is wondering if she can handle it. This book definitely sounds like a cute YA contemporary, so I'm sure I'll like this book if I like My Life Next Door. I wanted to get both of them so I can read them back to back. Next up, I have A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This is a YA fantasy book. I found out about this book when I was watching one of Jesse the Reader's videos when he was talking about the movie about this book, and I wanted to read the book before I saw the movie, so that's why I got this book. I don't know much about this book other than the fact that it follows a boy named Connor who is always having nightmares about this monster underneath his bed. I think this book is just about Connor dealing with this monster and the fact that the monsters that are hiding under our bed can come in many forms. It sounds intriguing though, and Jesse, he made the film of this book sound fascinating. So this is definitely a book that's on my to-do list to read. I don't really watch film adaptations, but from what Jesse says about the film, it stays true to the book, and it's actually a film that I am willing to watch. So I'm looking forward to getting to it in the future. Next up, I have My Last Kiss by Bethany Neal. This is a YA contemporary book, but I think it might also have a mystery element to it. This book follows Cassidy Haynes. Cassidy Haynes remembers her first kiss vividly with her boyfriend of 3 years, but her last kiss is the one that she shared with someone on the night of her 17th birthday. This is the night that she died. Cassidy is trapped in the world between the living and the dead, and she suspects that her death is not a suicide, as everyone assumes. The synopsis of this book reminds me of a book called Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver, and I really loved that book when I read it like 5 years ago, so I'm looking to see if I like this book too, and I'm wondering if I could guess the mystery. We'll have to see. Next up, I have Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. This is a classic. I know I don't normally have classics on my channel, but I remember reading this story like when I was 9 or 10 years old, and I read a children's edited version of this book, and since I wanted to read more classics in 2017, I thought this was a good book to pick up since I remember loving it as a kid, but I don't think I got the full story or the full impact of this story since it was like a children's edited version. So I definitely wanted to pick up this classic for Christmas and definitely revisit the story and see what details I remember and what I take from this book now that I'm much older. Next up, I have To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is the first book in a YA contemporary trilogy. This book is about a girl named Laura Jean who writes love letters. These are love letters that she's written to every boy that she's ever loved, but she's never sent these letters. Everything is alright in her life until her secret letters are mailed. And that's when everything changes. I've heard great things about this book from so many people. I read Jenny Han's Burn for Burn trilogy and I loved it, so I wanted to pick up another one of her books and read this one. I know that the third book, Forever Laura Jean, I think it's called, is coming out this April, so I definitely want to read this book this year in time for the third book to come out. Next up, I have Searching for Beautiful by Nairi Dawn. This is a young adult book and it follows this girl named Bryn, who had a best friend and a boyfriend who loved her. Bryn has this incident in her life where everything changes. She now knows that she had a boyfriend who never loved her, and she has friends who feel that Bryn has betrayed their trust. When she thinks that everything is lost, she meets this guy named Christian. Christian just happens to be the boy next door, and I think Christian is the guy who heals her heart, and she starts a relationship with this Christian guy. It sounds like this book has emotional depth to it, and I like contemporaries that have emotional depth and focus on serious stuff, so I think this book is definitely one of those. And the last book I got for Christmas was He Found Me by Whitney Barbetti. This is another YA contemporary. It's about this girl who, when she was 17, she disappeared. She left her life behind, which was a real-life nightmare. And for the past 6 years, she's been living a fictitious life under a new identity, I believe. That all changes until she meets this guy named Julian. I think Julian makes her want to be honest with herself and be honest with who she is and to overcome her past. So that's the impression that I get from this book, and it's another one of those deeply emotional contemporary books, so I'll definitely like this one. Those are all of the books that I got for Christmas. I hope you guys liked this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!